Welcome, everyone. Happy to have you all here. Welcome to our panel today. It's Paid UA in 2023, Challenges, Trends, and Insights. I am Eric Rosenberg. I am the GM of SplitMetrics in North America. Great to have you guys. Today, we're gonna deep dive into some of these challenges, trends, and insights. On our amazing panel today, we have Thomas Petit, growth consultant. We have Andrea Raggi, who's a performance marketing lead at Fisher. We have Dean Wong, Senior Performance Marketing Manager at MobilityWare, which is one of the apps that's been on my phone forever. And our very own and famous Matt Tatarno, Account Executive at SplitMetrics. The flow of this panel is I'm going to be asking direct questions to the panelists, and I will address each person with that specific question. And we're looking for answers from that specific person. And obviously, if time permits, we're going to have some questions in the chat that we're going to answer. So let's jump right in, guys. So this question is for Dean and Thomas. Challenges in the user privacy era. What is your UA strategy approach to measurement now after introduction of the ATT framework and once iOS 14 and 15 have passed? Let's start off with Dean.
Let's kick this off. So that's a good question. So I guess like for the UA side, UA strategy and the end goal for us hasn't really been changing. We are chasing after, the high value users, with the less cost, right? That's our goal. But after ATT and, all the privacy regulation introduced, and I think this is really how we measure users have changed, because now we lost a big chunk of data on iOS. So that's a big problem to us. So I think how we approach measurement is that we know that the user are still there on our side, but it's just like, it's hard to get the data. So we first really look into the ATT framework because that's kind of introduced by Apple. And then we're looking to like conversion value, we test different, schema. We use the conventional to predict LTV. We did everything. But after that, we still don't find it's enough because there's still like a lot of efficient loss on that side. So what we also have done is really exploring the different measurement kind of methodology. We're looking to population attribution, looking to like medium mix modeling, or even market mix modeling, just like with the traditional marketing. So that gives like kind of enhanced data visibility to some of the marketers. Now, I think we are on the right direction, but still really didn't find every solution there. So so I think the real answer here is like we have changed our way to measure users, but the end goal is that we really still want high quality users, and it is like really how we measure users, how do we use different tools to achieve that goal.
Thank you so much. And Thomas, what is your views on that question?
Yeah, I guess something fairly aligned with different words on my side. So yeah, pretty aligned with Dean. The approach I get is try to use everything that's available, because depending on the channel or sometimes you have different views, a little bit of the consented cohort, a little bit of SKAN, a little bit of inferring through media mix model, but don't trust any of them. Like there's seriously none of these methods that are perfect these days. And it's only by comparing them all that you start having a directional view on where this is going. When you're in the complete dark, the only one I'm relying on is like blended total metrics without attribution to give me at least a sign that we're doing good, we're profitable, or we're not. And if we're not, I need to wind down, even if one particular channel is doing good and I just don't know it. So that's the only one that really trust. But same as Dean, like we try to maximize the use of different methods in parallel, which obviously raise the level of complexity. But in a way, it kind of makes it exciting as well, like raise uncertainty a lot, but it's kind of interesting to look at it this way. And sometimes we probably discover stuff we wouldn't have before by having only one source of truth.
Thank you for sharing that. Great insight. This question is for our very own Matt and Andrea. Definitely looking forward to this. What challenges do you observe in regard when it comes to metrics down the funnel, from cost per acquisition to subscriptions or in-app purchases, revenue and LTV? I say we start off with Matt first on this one. Fire away, Matt.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Eric. And amazing answers from Thomas and Dean for the previous question. And I think here I will be quite short because obviously Andrea has a higher level view and more expertise to share about this question with the down funnel metrics and the different channels. But what I see personally and what the customers are telling me is that after the introduction of the Apple App Tracking Transparency, the in-app campaign algorithms with Google, Facebook, it stopped working as well as they did before. So yeah, the metrics are not as good, so that the budgets are getting shifted to Apple Search Ads. This we can see for sure. And with the implemented advanced privacy, Apple is just growing more and more, but maybe Andrea will have a different idea about this topic.
No, I completely agree. And, overall accurate measurement has been more challenging, and we all know that. Lower funnel performance has been deteriorating or appearing worse because, it might be a result of estimation, data loss, data delays. As we know, data loss, generally a drop in iOS post-install metrics, especially when it comes to privacy thresholds. Then we have the 24-hour post-back timer, where we actually need to wait some time. We'll have data lag with each channel. We also have, for instance, Google, where the data lag can be up to 5 days. And all of these things together, had important consequences, as Thomas and Dean have already mentioned. We really need to double check the data, trust and verify. And what we're actually doing is making sure we give more time to campaigns to collect data, to report on them, as well as use Android for testing and ensuring that we're collecting more data. Also using complementary analysis and additional resources like incrementality, blended ROAS, to ensure we're looking at different pieces of the puzzle and comparing the data that we have from SKAN as well with LTV data to connect the dots, and ensuring we're looking at the total UA efforts as a whole.
Thank you for that insight. Moving along, the next question is also for Andrew and Matt. Overall, what's the role Apple Search Ads is in your paid UA mix, and how's it going, and is it actually scaling? Let's start off with Matt on this one.
Well, thank you for giving the word first again, Eric. And for that, I can see a lot of publishers who would select Apple Search Ads as the only channel for iOS. So obviously there is a different mix for Android, but then when it comes to the iOS, and Niels from Singular mentioned in one of the previous panels today about this pre-existing Facebook Google duopoly that doesn't exist anymore. And what I see with the publishers whom we're closely work together, they retest Google, Facebook for iOS quite often. And then normally those tests are not very long, being honest here. And then they just pause them very quickly because the performance doesn't allow to scale. And it doesn't work for all the categories for sure. For example, with the gaming, it's totally different. With the iOS as well, we can see the mix until now. And so the point is that it also depends on the app or game that you have. And maybe Andrea would share his opinion as well. That would be lovely.
Let's hear what he says.
Yeah, so at Feature, we have, I think, about 15% media spend on Apple Search Ads. And, the role of Apple Search Ads has always been, I would say, a prominent one for us and for our clients. We definitely recommend anyone to try Apple Search Ads if you haven't, because it's generally a very efficient channel of acquisition because of its intent-based nature. Users that come from Apple Search Ads usually have a very high LTV, can generate fairly decent amount of ROI that is very similar to organic cohorts. So you really get the best out of it. In terms of scaling, though, it might be a bit difficult because it's a search-based channel, so traffic at some point will just run out. And there are many tricks that you can do. You can run discovery campaigns. You can definitely push bids. But what we generally try to do and recommend as well is trying to work around maybe some brand awareness campaigns, try to boost your Apple Search Ads traffic, try to acquire new users and new customers, new audiences through that, but also in a certain way trying to stimulate new traffic creation with also social media campaigns on Meta or Google. And what we've seen is generally a positive performance because this traffic comes through from other sources than land on Apple Search Ads, and you can definitely convert that to very high ROI and LTV.
Thank you for sharing that. This next question is going to Thomas and Matt, and it's come up quite a bit most recently. And what's your take on SKAN 4 that has been released recently? So I'm curious to know about that. And let's start with Thomas this time.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. Big topic, hard to go through it all. But for me, clearly we have to set expectation. It's not going to be perfect. It's not bringing back what we have, but before its implementation, it looks like a big improvement. If anything, for smaller clients, because we have a way to go a bit through the threshold, which is a very big problem for a large number of not so large advertisers. I'm personally very excited about having a signal after the first 24 hours, which may not be a perfect signal like before and so on, but at least having something, especially for the verticals I'm in the subscription space. A lot of trials happen at the beginning, but we never really know if they convert or not. And here we're going to be able to have a signal if those trials are high value or not. And so I'm pretty excited about this additional granularity that it brings. I don't think the web to app is going to be much there, but at least Apple is going into the right direction. If they keep going to these steps in SKAN 8, it's going to be fantastic, you know?
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe the difference will be like with the iPhone 4 and 8 is a huge, definitely. And then with the, yeah, from my point of view, like as I understand it and what you just said, Thomas, is about this additional signal, which is like an extra touch point that the user, the MMP can get. So basically we can see that the advertiser will be able to tailor those campaigns for more LTV users, because they can also see not just when the user is subscribing, but also the unsubscribing. So then the algorithm of the channels will work better. And then, yeah, the aim of improving the SKAN is that ad campaigns can work better, and that the more relevant user will be coming to the App Store and your apps. And then, yeah, for me, it's just that is not that much relevant in my perspective of focus on Apple Search Ads, because we use the deterministic app services. So then maybe improving the SKAN can be like another thread that for now we don't see. And the other thing that I could observe from the companies that go and come to us is that some actually prefer the web to app campaigns towards the Facebook AAA campaign. I don't know, Thomas, if you have this experience.
I see them more as complementary. I wouldn't yeah, in an ideal world, I want both of them to work, because kind of different audience, different journey, different mechanics on Facebook side. So I try to not compare them exactly. Like if they yield the same return, I want both. That's my take.
Yeah. So what we saw, like in some cases, the budget will relocate to the web to app campaign, but then it's not always the case. That's what you are saying. So
it's really high effort, high reward to, when you're app only, to go back to the web, and the journey is always a bit clunky to move from the browser to the app store. There's an extra step in the funnel. It's really, really not so easy. I know a couple of apps that have done really great there, but they haven't moved 100% of the budget there. I would say those who have found certain success, they may be at 30-40% of their marketing mix. Maybe my sample is small, but I've also seen a lot of apps say, oh, let's go to the web, we have attribution, we don't pay the commission, and didn't find success at all, because different logic, longer journey, and attribution is not completely working on the web either. I don't think it's a black and white situation. So definitely worth exploring if you have the resource, but high effort, high impact kind of activity.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. So what you mentioned is like this dropout rate when they're directing the users on the web page. And what the best practices that we see is when the advertiser is using this emulated page from the optimized platform, where it looks exactly like the store, and then we minimize this dropout rate But yeah, with the
Great
SKAN,
input.
excited to see what's going up next. For SplitMetrics, acquire right now not that relevant, but I know that if it was, it will be us who implement the SKAN for in the platform first, like we did with the custom product pages, custom ads, full funnel view. And that I guess would be the next topic that we're discussing today.
If I may, I don't think it's a threat. You know, the more your client finds success elsewhere, and the more they can reinvest in improving ASO, in scaling ASR, and so on. I think it's more of a virtual cycle than if my money doesn't go there, then it goes there. I see it as it's not a finite game, is what I
Of course,
believe.
yeah, agree. More growth is best for us.
So happier client,
100%,
happier man.
100%.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. So this question's for Dean, Thomas, and Andrea. So iOS 15 brought a great addition, which we all know is custom product pages. Have you adopted this relatively new feature? And if so, what are some successful case studies have you seen out of it?
Yeah,
Let's start off with anybody at this point. Go, Dean.
Yeah, sorry, I kick first. So yes, so we have adopted this new feature. I think for us, like as Andrew and Matt mentioned, like ASA has always been actually for us it's an important channel. And what I found is like ASA has, to me, just like it always missed something because we are able to optimize different keywords, but not really the entire user journey because all the users send to the same app store. No matter what keywords they see. So I think CPP does give us that capability to optimize different, user, kind of storefronts, and then we are now finally allowed to send them to the storefront they want to see. So, for example, what we have been doing is really first understand our users, segment into them into different use cases. Like, we have some users, we are a current puzzle game companies. We found some of the users, they like to use our app to wind down before sleep. So we really try something, hey, can we produce a storefront to highlight that feature? And then we tried out ASA and it was a huge success. So to us, it's really like the CPP give us the capability to really create that unique journey for the users. And that way we're seeing like a success and a lift down conversion rate for our campaigns.
Thank you. Thomas, let's hear your thoughts on that.
I mean, I think in the long term, we will see this as really a bit of a revolution. It's still young, it's still early. I think we haven't fully exploited it. I'm working on a bunch of CPPs for a bunch of clients. I think one thing that I failed at the beginning is trying to hack them to use as an A/B test, and this is just not meant for it. And the insights you get are a bit skewed, and I don't think it's a proper way to do it. But then when you identify like really specific either audience or intent or something, and you can match it, it's not only good for us as a developer because it might raise CTR and lower CPC and improve ROAS. It's also better for the user. Like, it makes a lot more sense. And mobile had this thing for 10 years that we have this bottleneck that everybody has to see the same thing. It's good. This comes to a beginning of the end. I think we're not at the end of it. But I'm very excited in the future. There's still a couple of limitations here and there, but for a lot of use case, I don't know, fitness app, for example, have very different intent between gender, and what you show a woman and what you show a man is usually not performing the same at all. It's great to be able to show what people want to see, and I mean, gender is one example among many. And like, I just wanted to say one. But I think it's great for users and developers. So fantastic. And I hope we see a lot more of it.
And running out of time, and Andrea, what is your take on this?
Yeah, I think it's a great feature to see how conversion rate can be optimized in a way. Also bringing consistency of design and messaging, right, between the traffic source and the landing page by showcasing different features, as we said. A feature we've run, I think, created and tested more than 500 CPPs. We've also published a CPP playbook, and generally the results we've obtained are extremely positive, and really encourage anyone to try them out. And I'm going to share some numbers with you. I knew this question would come up. Like in 85% of the cases, we had a win. So we had CPA decrease after custom product pages tests, with 25% lower CPAs on average and 20% higher conversion rates. So definitely good results that could be a game changer for improving your KPIs and also lower funnel performance.
Amazing. Thank you so much. You guys have been great. Any questions that haven't been answered? Because I know we're running short on time here. These panel discussions go on and they go long, and it's great insight from everyone. So if any questions have not been answered, we'll be sure to get them back to you with people in the chat. Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to pass the microphone back to our amazing David, VP of Sales.
And thank you very, very much. We are very grateful for each and every one of you coming here today and working alongside us. Big love.